Every time you clean your bathroom, all the dirt and debris end up gathering around the floor drain. But if the drain cover is broken, even a few strands of hair or tiny pieces of debris can fall into the pipe and eventually cause a stubborn clog. Replacing the drain cover can be expensive. So do you know of a better solution? Today, I and Oppos LL show you an incredibly simple DIY fix that works surprisingly well and costs almost nothing. Keep watching to the end. You might discover a clever trick that saves you both time and money. I and Oppos am using a PVC reducing adapter, 75mm to 48mm. At first glance, it doesn't and Oppos look like anything special. I simply cut away the unnecessary parts, smooth the edges with sandpaper, and carefully trim everything with a utility knife for a clean finish. With just a few simple steps, this inexpensive fitting is transformed into a crucial component for the next stage of the project. Keep watching. The final result is sure to surprise you. After finishing the first part, I took another piece of PVC pipe and test-fitted it onto the section I had just made. However, after taking a closer look, I realized the size and fit still weren't and Oppos quite what I wanted. Instead of starting over, I used a heat gun to warm up the end of the pipe. With just the right amount of heat, the PVC became soft enough to reshape easily. I carefully fitted the pipe onto the previous section, gently twisting and adjusting it until everything fit perfectly. Once I was satisfied with the result, I moved on to the next step. This time, I chose a smaller diameter piece of PVC pipe to ensure a perfect fit before securing it in place. Then I applied an even layer of adhesive to the contact surfaces and slowly inserted the smaller pipe deep into the center of the larger one. The adhesive not only creates a strong bond between the parts, but also forms a solid spacer for the next stage of the project. At this point, the final shape of the build is starting to take form, and if you only saw the original materials, you and Oppos probably never guess what they and Oppos about to become. Keep watching, because the next steps are even more interesting and reveal the real purpose behind this simple DIY project. Next, I selected an even smaller piece of PVC pipe to complete the inner structure. After checking that it fit perfectly, I applied an even layer of adhesive to the entire contact surface and slowly inserted the pipe deep into the section I had prepared earlier. I held it in place for a few seconds to allow the adhesive to bond securely, creating a strong and stable connection between the parts. Once everything was firmly set, I took the piece I had made in the previous step and test-fitted it again. Then, using a marker, I carefully marked the exact locations for the next modification. After that, I used a drill to make 2 evenly spaced holes on opposite sides of the pipe. I drilled slowly and carefully to ensure the holes were perfectly aligned and to prevent the PVC from cracking. Once the drilling was complete, there were still a few rough plastic edges left behind, so I used a utility knife to carefully trim away the excess and smooth the surface. With just a few simple steps, this piece has started to take the shape of an important component, and by now, you may already have an idea of what I and Oppos am building. The project ISN and Oppos am finished yet, but as you keep watching, the real purpose behind this DIY creation will become much clearer. Now at Oppos, it's time to assemble all the pieces I and Oppos prepared. First, I apply an even layer of adhesive to the section I worked on earlier, then carefully insert the newly drilled pipe into place. I gently twist it to spread the adhesive evenly across the contact surfaces, creating a strong and secure bond. Next, I take a perfectly sized PVC end cap, apply adhesive to its contact surface as well, and firmly press it onto the end of the pipe. At this point, the main structure of the project is complete. Only a few final steps remain before I reveal what this DIY creation is actually designed to do. To test the finished project, I pour water directly into it and carefully inspect every joint. This is the most important step because it confirms whether all the connections are completely watertight and whether the trap can effectively prevent unpleasant odors from coming back up through the drain. When I see that there and oppos, no leakage and everything performs exactly as intended, I know this DIY project is finally complete. After installing it onto the floor drain and testing it with running water, I was genuinely impressed. The water flows quickly and smoothly without any restriction. More importantly, it effectively blocks unpleasant odors from coming back up through the drain. This homemade PVC drain trap is now officially complete. What do you think about this DIY project? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.